So watch this video as we tour a Sears store that is still open. I had the impression that they were all closed. As of 2026, there are 5 still open. And what happened is, initially in 2011, Sears had a massive 2,705 stores at its peak. But as of December 2025, there's only 5, and 1 is going to be closing very soon. So that will leave only 4. And the one we're going to look at is in the Florida Mall in Orlando. There's the other one that's going to be closing in Florida at Coral Gables. It's a standalone location. It's going to close later this year. Then in California, there's one in Concord at the Sun Valley Shopping Center. In Massachusetts, in Braintree, Massachusetts, at the South Shore Plaza. In Texas, in El Paso, in the Cielo Vista Mall. So come along with me and watch as we tour this Sears. At first I thought it was just a shell of itself because they had a bunch of plastic hanging up, but they're spending some money to remodel it, and it's a 2-story Sears, and it's pretty massive. I didn't go up on the elevator because it was way in the back, and I was a little concerned about getting stuck since it was late in the day. So I said I was going to come back, but I never did. I'll wait until it gets remodeled and hopefully do a follow-up video. This one's about 5 minutes, and it's very interesting to see that they still have Die Hard and Craftsman stuff. The appliances, I didn't see any Kenmore. They had a lot of other brands, but I didn't see any Kenmore. And unfortunately, Sears went out of business. They filed for bankruptcy in 2018, which was really sad because it was due to a failure to adopt e-commerce. They did chronic underinvestment in stores and intense competition from Walmart, Home Depot, and Amazon. Basically, poor leadership and a failed merger with Kmart, and a shift away from its core retail focus crippled it. They were once the giant of catalogs, and it was really sad that thought they could do other things. Some of the key factors in the downfall of Sears: they failed to adapt to e-commerce. Despite inventing the catalog model, they were the original Amazon. Sears was way too slow to transition to online shopping and failed to develop a competitive website. Then they neglected the store experience. Stores became run down and inefficient, with poor lighting, barren shelves, making them uncompetitive against modern retailers. Competition and market shifts. Sears lost its dominance to competitors like Target, Walmart, and Home Depot, which offered better prices, selection, and a shopping experience. Management and financial strategy. Under Eddie Lampert, the company was managed with a strategy that separated departments, leading to internal competition for resources. Critics argue the company was managed to be sold for assets rather than succeed as a retailer. And then, of course, in 2005, the merger with Kmart failed to create synergy, resulting in 2 companies combined that were failing. And this article from Forbes recently said the long, slow unraveling of famous retailer Sears appears to be nearing its endgame. The fate of its remaining handful of stores looks increasingly bleak for what was once the largest retailer in the United States. Founded in Chicago as a mail-order business that would come to shape how American consumers shopped, furnished their homes, and imagined modern life. And I'm going to add also, at one time they actually sold whole houses. You could order a whole house. They had plans in the catalog. You could choose what house you wanted, and they would ship all of the supplies, and then you could build it or have a builder do it. However, at the end of 2025, this article says, if this is really the final chapter of one of the country's most storied retailers, it will represent the chronicle of a retail death foretold, reflecting not only changing consumer behavior, but also mismanagement and poor strategy. Founded in 1892 by Richard Sears and Alva Roebuck, the company grew from a catalog business into a national institution. For much of the 20th century, Sears was a commercial and cultural force, selling anything and everything and anchoring shopping centers across suburban America. Its thick catalogs were also fixtures in households nationwide, a promise of abundance as the consumer age awakened. However, the legacy has been steadily hollowed out since the early 2000s.